Some people say dogs don't have a soul, that everything they do is just instinct. But let me ask you this, has your dog ever sat next to you on the worst day of your life? Have they waited at the door every single day without fail just for you? Have they ever adjusted their breathing, their energy, just to soothe you without being told a word? If so, then you already know. Calling that just instinct falls painfully short. By the end of this video, you won't just be wondering if your dog has a soul, you'll feel it. 1. They feel what you can't say. Picture this. You come home defeated after a tough day. Before the door even closes, your dog is there. Eyes locked on yours. They don't bark. They don't jump. They just sit and see you. They're not asking for food, not demanding attention. They're choosing to be with you. In that moment, it's not about treats or toys. It's about presence. That kind of emotional attunement isn't just learned. It's something deeper. Some researchers suggest dogs are emotionally wired to detect hormonal shifts in humans. They can smell changes in cortisol, sense shifts in your body language, and even track subtle variations in your breathing. It's part of what makes them such remarkable companions. But beyond the science, there's something even more extraordinary happening. Something we can't measure in a lab. The feeling of being truly seen, of being understood without speaking a word. It's as if your soul is being gently mirrored back to you. That's not just biology. That's emotional resonance. That's presence at a level most humans rarely achieve with one another. Think about it. When was the last time a human just sat with you? No judgment, no advice, just unconditional presence? For many people, it's their dog who gives them that space. That kind of magic. The ability to hold you in silence, to match your energy without expectation. Only souls can do that. And it's not rare. Thousands of dog owners around the world describe these same moments. Days when words failed, and yet somehow their dog knew. When life hurt too much to explain, and their dog simply laid beside them, breathing in perfect rhythm. It's not training, it's connection. And perhaps it's proof of something sacred, and it's not rare. Thousands of dog owners report the same thing. When life hurts, their dog just knows. It's as if they carry an invisible radar for human pain, tuned specifically to the frequency of the person they love most. Whether it's grief, stress, heartbreak, or simply exhaustion, they show up, quietly and without fanfare, offering something we all crave: unconditional companionship. Some sit next to you, pressing their body against yours like a living anchor. Others place their head gently on your lap, offering a silent kind of empathy that feels more healing than words. Some dogs simply stay close, without touching, without moving, just breathing in sync with you, as if they know that all you need is someone who won't look away. It's a kind of emotional intelligence that defies logic, and no matter how many times it happens, it never stops feeling like a small miracle. These moments aren't rare because dogs are special in a way most of us don't fully understand. They're attuned to a level of connection that reminds us we're not alone, and we never have been. 2. Loyalty that outlives time. The stories are endless. A dog in Japan waited at a train station every day for 9 years after his owner passed away. In Argentina, a German shepherd named Capitan stood watch at his owner's grave for over a decade. In the United States, there's the tale of a Labrador who waited outside a hospital entrance for weeks after his human passed inside, refusing to be lured away even with food or affection from strangers. These are not isolated cases. Around the world, dogs return to places where love once lived, even when there's no reward, no logic, no reason. It's not just about physical space. It's about emotional geography. A park bench, a doorstep, a car seat. These aren't just locations to a dog. They're memory markers infused with scent, sound, and soul. What makes a being stay in one place for years, in rain or snow, just for a memory? It's something that goes beyond behavior, something that transcends training. It's the sacred pull of loyalty, the refusal to let go even when the world says to move on. It's not habit, it's promise. It's a vow made not in words, but in presence. And promises like that don't come from instinct. They come from the soul. 3. Grief you can feel. When a dog loses their person, they mourn, not just in behavior, but in energy. Some stop eating. Others lie in silence, guarding a door that no longer opens. It's as if they're waiting, not just for footsteps or a voice, but for a presence their heart still feels. They may sniff at the air when no one's around, searching for a familiar scent that no longer lingers. Some wander the house aimlessly, checking the usual spots where their loved one used to sit or sleep. You can see it in their eyes, the confusion, the ache, the absence. There are dogs who curl up on the last worn sweater of their person, refusing to leave it for days. That piece of clothing becomes more than just fabric. It's a portal, a lifeline, a remnant of someone irreplaceable. Others sit in the same spot at the same hour, hoping perhaps that this time their person will return. You can almost feel the anticipation in their stillness, the way they perk up at every sound, every shadow, every creak in the floor. They're listening for the impossible. Some whimper softly in their sleep, as if they're dreaming of past moments. Walks through the park, gentle pats on the head, laughter in the kitchen. Others carry a favorite toy to their person's old chair and place it there carefully, like an offering. It's not just loss, it's longing. A kind of quiet devotion that doesn't ask questions. It just waits and hopes and holds on with everything it has left. Grief in a dog is not loud, it's quiet, steady, devoted, and every action they take seems to whisper the same thing. I still remember. I still wait. I still love. A woman once shared that her dog, who had never cried in 8 years, shed visible tears the night her husband died. Another family said their dog began sleeping in their son's bed after he passed, guarding his pillow every night. Dogs don't understand funerals, but they understand absence. They sense when something sacred has changed. 4. Present at the final breath. One of the most powerful signs comes at the end of life. There are countless stories of dogs who refused to leave the side of a dying loved one. They stop playing, stop eating, and simply stay, breathing in rhythm, watching, holding space. It's more than loyalty. It's a sacred kind of presence. These dogs seem to sense when time is running short. They become softer, more still, more alert. Their world narrows to one focus, their person. They lie beside hospital beds, curl up under wheelchairs, or quietly settle on the floor, refusing to move even when coaxed. They don't look for food or comfort. They just stay. In some homes, families have noticed how the dog's breathing slows to match the rhythm of the dying loved one, as if keeping time with the heart that first loved them. In hospices, staff often remark on how dogs instinctively position themselves where they're needed most, guarding not just a body, but a soul in transition. This is more than behavior. It's ritual. It's the closing of a chapter written together. And in those final hours, when words may fail and even human presence falls short, the quiet companionship of a dog speaks volumes. It says, I'm here. I won't leave. Not now. Not ever. In some cases, moments before a person passed, the dog lifted their head, locked eyes, and then lay still, like they knew. Others, after the loss, would walk to the door, pause, and lie down, as if guarding the path between two worlds. That kind of presence doesn't come from instinct. It comes from knowing. The language of energy. Dogs don't just hear us, They read us. Tone, body language, a breath. They anticipate what we feel before we say a word. It's as if they have an emotional radar that never turns off, constantly scanning the environment to understand how we're doing, often better than we understand ourselves. Your dog knows when you're sad, even before the tears come. They can sense when your breathing changes, when your energy drops, or when your steps lose their rhythm. They pick up on excitement, grief, tension, love, and adjust their behavior accordingly. It's not just reaction, it's response, born from deep attunement. One dog owner said her pet would hide under the table before she even received bad news, like her dog sensed it in the air. Another shared that when her depression returned, her dog wouldn't leave her side for weeks, skipping meals and playtime just to stay curled up next to her in quiet support. And this happens across the world. Soldiers returning from war with PTSD have reported their dogs anticipating panic attacks before they start. Children with autism often find comfort in the steady rhythm of a dog's breath. People with chronic illnesses describe how their dogs somehow know when to sit still, when to play, and when just to be there. This isn't guessing. This is energetic intuition. A sixth sense powered not by logic, but by love. It's how dogs speak a language we forgot we knew, a language of presence, empathy, and unwavering connection. 6. Home is not a place. It's you. Dogs don't care about square footage. They don't care about views. For them, home is where you are. It's not about the walls or the furniture. It's about the energy. Your presence becomes the heartbeat of their environment. When you're there, everything makes sense. When you're gone, even for a little while, the world shifts. That's why they follow you from room to room. Not out of anxiety, but out of emotional alignment. Your scent, your voice, your rhythm is their compass. You might be folding laundry, brushing your teeth, or simply sitting on the couch. But to them, your presence is grounding. It's as if, by being near you, they find balance in the world. And if you're ever gone too long, they seek out your energy, your chair, your pillow, your sweater. That's not habit, it's tethering. It's their way of holding on to you, of closing the distance with something familiar and comforting. A sweater becomes a sanctuary. A spot on the bed becomes a bridge. It's a silent way to stay close, even when you're far away. It's love turned into direction, into geography, into meaning. For your dog, you are the center of the map, the emotional North Star they never stop following. 7. Signs from the other side. There's the story of a dog in California who, after the passing of his elderly owner, would go every morning to the garden and sit quietly beside the same tree where they used to sit together. He did this every day for months, rain or shine, until he, too, passed away. The family said he never once missed a morning. And another case from the UK went viral. A family noticed their dog sitting on the stairs every evening at exactly 7 p.m., the time when their late daughter would return home from school. He would stare at the door, wag his tail softly, and then slowly walk back to her room, where he would lie beside her belongings. These moments are not random. They're not tricks. They're not routines. They are quiet echoes of a connection that refuses to fade. These dogs aren't haunted. They're remembering. They're keeping a promise. They're staying close to a presence they still feel, even if we can't. After a person passes, some dogs exhibit behaviors that are hard to explain. They stare into empty corners. They wag their tail at nothing. They sleep beside the same object night after night. Some even place toys or blankets in places where their person once sat. Others return daily to a specific spot in the yard, the one where they used to play together. Are they seeing something we can't? Or is it their way of continuing a bond that refuses to break? Maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's memory, alive and sacred. After a person passes, some dogs exhibit behaviors that are hard to explain. They stare into empty corners. They wag their tail at nothing. They sleep beside the same object night after night. Some even place toys or blankets in places where their person once sat. Others return daily to a specific spot in the yard, the one where they used to play together. Are they seeing something we can't? Or is it their way of continuing a bond that refuses to break? Maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's memory, alive and sacred. How to deepen this soul connection. Be present. Sit quietly with your dog. Don't speak. Don't pet. Just breathe. You'll notice their body soften, their breath align with yours. It's a tiny miracle that happens only when two beings choose to share a moment. Be consistent. Use simple, calm words for confirmation and correction. Dogs don't need loud commands. They don't respond to volume. They respond to vibration. The tone of your voice, the steadiness in your breath, and the intention behind your words carry far more meaning than any raised voice. They listen with their hearts as much as with their ears. What matters isn't just what you say, but how you say it. They read the pauses between your words, the way your body holds tension, the shift in your presence. That's why yelling can confuse them, while calm, clear signals ground them. In their world, clarity is kindness. A consistent tone becomes a safe path they can follow. Your energy is your language, and when that language is steady, loving, and intentional, your dog feels safe. They trust you more. They listen not out of fear, but out of understanding. So speak with presence, guide with calm, and remember, connection begins where noise ends. Show gratitude. At the end of each day, take a moment, just a moment, to reflect on something your dog did. Maybe they waited patiently for you to come home. Maybe they laid quietly at your feet while you worked. Maybe they looked at you with eyes full of understanding when you didn't even realize you needed comfort. It might seem small to you, but to them it's everything. A soft word, a gentle touch, a few seconds of undivided attention. These become affirmations of love. When you acknowledge them, you're speaking their language. You're telling them, I see you, I appreciate you, I feel you. Gratitude, when spoken aloud or expressed with presence, deepens the invisible thread that binds you. It reminds your dog that they matter, not just for what they do, but for who they are. These daily moments of recognition aren't just good for your dog, they're good for your soul too. Because in honoring them, you begin to see more clearly how much you are loved, not for your accomplishments or your words, but simply for being you. Let them heal with you. If you're going through something hard, don't push them away. Let them into the moment. Open the window. Sit on the floor. Let their calmness reach you. Let their steady breath remind you that peace is still possible. Let them help your soul breathe again. They don't come with solutions. They won't fix the situation. But what they offer is something else entirely. Presence without pressure. Love without conditions. A kind of quiet that wraps itself around your pain and simply says, I'm here. In those moments, they're no longer pets. They're healers, companions, silent witnesses to your journey. They sit with you in the silence others are afraid of. They accompany you through moments when even words are too much. They don't look away. They don't ask for more than your nearness. And in that sacred stillness, your soul begins to mend, not all at once, but piece by piece. Because sometimes what we need most is not someone to solve the storm, but someone who's willing to sit in it with us until it passes. So, do dogs have souls? Maybe souls aren't always found in poetry or prayer. Maybe sometimes they're found in warm fur, steady breath, and eyes that never look away when we're hurting. Maybe a soul is defined not by words or beliefs, but by the way it chooses to love, consistently, silently, and without condition. Perhaps the soul of a dog isn't something hidden. It's something offered, freely, every single day. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question. Maybe the real question is, what kind of soul recognizes your pain before you say a word, stays beside you through darkness, and never, ever asks for anything in return? Your dog doesn't need proof. They already chose you, again and again, through joy, chaos, grief, and stillness. That kind of loyalty, that kind of presence, that's not instinct. That's something far more sacred. And if we can learn to see them not just as animals, but as sentient companions with emotional lives, maybe we'll start to see ourselves differently too. Maybe we'll become more loyal, more present, more soulful. And speaking of soulful presence, there's something deeply important every dog parent should know. When we leave, even for a short while, our dogs don't just miss us. They feel our absence in a way we rarely understand. But there's a simple gesture, quiet, powerful, that can help ease their heart, offer them peace, and remind them that our bond is unbreakable, even in moments apart. If this video moved something in you, take a second to let it show. Give it a like, leave us a comment telling us which moment hit home the most, or write a small thank you to your dog. Something like, "Thank you for all the love you gave me when I had nothing to give," and feel free to include their name. Let's build a wall of gratitude together. And if you're ready to take one step deeper into this soulful connection, to discover what your dog might be feeling in their final moments and what light may await them, you won't want to miss what comes next.